Hello, everyone, and welcome to this presentation titled Treading Lightly Through the Landscape of Artificial Intelligence in Education. Is it fear or lack of understanding? This presentation is a requirement for EDTC 8375, which is Trends in Educational Technology K16 for the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. As we begin, let's go ahead and look at the presentation outline. So we'll cover a little bit of a background and context for this presentation. We'll look at a statement of the problem and identify the issue that we will be talking about, or that I'll be talking about. We'll have an overview, some common assumptions, arguments for and against. We'll analyze the arguments. I'm going to tell you where I stand on this issue, and then offer some suggestions for a solution. So, once again, welcome. My name is Omar Lopez. And now let's go ahead and move on and look at some keywords. Now, before we continue, as I said, allow me to introduce a few keywords that will come up in this presentation or in this slide deck, but also will be very common in the paper that goes along with this presentation. We're going to be talking about AI or artificial intelligence, LLM or large language models, integration, that's going to be key, personalized instruction, and strategic action plan. So, those are some words that are going to come up in this session and also in the paper that accompanies this presentation. Now, we know that on November 2022, the chatbot ChatGPT was released for public use, and along with that came a craze that went beyond the use of ChatGPT. So many people were using, many users were sharing. I'm sorry, many people were using, and many users were sharing what they were doing with ChatGPT, the types of questions. Now, before long, however, many of these use cases transition into the classroom. Now, as more and more educators started using artificial intelligence or other AI models like ChatGPT and other LLMs, more and more questions surfaced. So even though we were looking for answers, more questions arose because of the use of that. So we heard at that time a lot of questions like, is it safe? Will it steal my info? That was very common. How accurate is this? And then we soon discovered that some of the outputs that the AIs were rendering, that were giving us, were not accurate at all. So people call these hallucinations. The AI thinks it's correct, but it was not. And then eventually we did see or hear some of, will the AI ever take over the world? That still comes up. It could be science fiction or not, but that's what we saw as the AI came about in late 2022. Now, with that, there were two main questions that troubled educators and the decision makers. First of all, is it going to steal our students' data? That's common. That's still common. And another question is how can we prevent students from cheating? So after even after a year, every time educators discuss AI, these questions still remain very prevalent because it's a hot topic of conversation. There are many questions that are unanswered, but again, these are two very, very common questions that educators ask. So let's talk a little bit about the problem that we're exploring here. Now, the rapid evolution of technology, particularly AI, in education has left many school districts and schools without a comprehensive action plan to effectively integrate AI into these classrooms. Now, dealing with AI and having to navigate these uncharted waters is it's a concern, but not the greatest. I think the greatest, in my opinion, is that many educational institutions have yet to design a plan to promote the safe and responsible use of AI in the classroom. So, the lack of properly organized strategy gives rise to hesitations regarding the implementation and supervision of AI tools like OpenAI's ChatGPT or maybe Microsoft's Copilot or Google's Gemini. So not having that plan makes people nervous, makes people apprehension. So that's what we said in the title of this presentation. Is it fear or just lack of understanding? So the fact that many many school districts, many local, well, education institutions still don't know how to implement it. They prefer not to use it and block it for their users, for their students. So let's identify the issue here. The issue is, should all school districts be required to outline and implement a plan that leverages and encourages the use of artificial intelligence as an instructional support or resource? So that's the issue that we are going to be exploring. So let's go ahead and get a little bit into the overview. Now, we know that change is inevitable. For that reason, we must tread lightly, like I said earlier. The educational realm stands on the brink of a significant shift propelled by the growing capabilities of AI. If we thought COVID changed the way we teach and learn, we have seen nothing yet. Now, with these advancements in technology, there are opportunities for us to tailor learning experiences, streamline grading, and take advantage of other tools that the AI offers so that we maximize our efficiency as educators. Now, we want to advocate not for a rigid mandate, but for a solid framework that encourages decision makers at the school district level to encourage the use of AI effectively while cultivating a deeper understanding of its impact on the learning process. So we don't want to just use it to use it. We do want it to be meaningful. Now, there are some still assumptions and misconceptions. For instance, AI is going to take over our job roles, or because AI is an advanced technology, our data is protected. Now, again, there are misconceptions. We should be very careful with how much data we provide the AI because it is learning from what we say. And just because it is a next gen model, it doesn't mean that it's safe from attacks or data breaches. I'm sorry. So therefore, we must err on the side of caution when dealing with student privacy and safety when using AI. Now, some of the arguments that support artificial intelligence or creating a plan is that it leads to personalized learning. Yes, AI has the potential to democratize access to one-on-one learning assistance. For instance, there are many applications like Math Solver or Conmigo that are like personal tutors. Now, if we continue looking at why we should implement a plan, we know that it's a matter of it's a national matter because there has been an executive order on the safe, secure, and trustworthy development and use of artificial intelligence. So President Biden recommended or issued this order for schools, school districts, local education agencies, even state agencies to come up with some sort of plan to use technology. Now, with the AI, I'm sorry, to use AI. Now, with this AI, this presents opportunities for innovation in the classroom. So now teachers can take advantage of that AI to develop lessons that are equipped to help our students be ready for a future that's influenced by AI. Now, some of the arguments against is that we might become too dependent on artificial intelligence. Now, because AI has the potential to overlook our students, right? Creativity and critical thinking and problem solving abilities, because it's too easy to become dependent on a tool that makes our life easier. I talked about in the paper how some people don't know how to navigate using a paper map because we have GPS. Some of us have forgotten phone numbers that before we used to have memorized because everything is in our phones now. So that's comparable to one of the arguments against. Now, a very common argument is students cheating because there's so much access to information using an LLM, then they can use that to complete the work. But it is, we should understand that it is difficult to mitigate academic dishonesty because of so much AI, so how easy it is to access it. Now, there is still some lack of research, lack of um, guidance on this, and some people even argue that there is bias output. So it is because somebody is coding it, somebody is behind it. It's a challenge that people are concerned with, so, and it's understandable. So we need additional research, analysis, and evidence to assess the effectiveness of AI in the classroom and then compare that to the risk benefit comparison there. But we do need to acknowledge some of the arguments. We know that personalized instruction helps teachers identify critical gaps in the learning process. So this results in more purposeful interventions through strategic onboarding of AI models and using them intentionally. We can be very intentional in our approach to closing academic and achievement gaps. Now, the fact that the US Department of Education address this as a need for us to create a guidebook that indicates the significance of creating a plan that helps teachers leverage a tool is shows how important that executive order is, how important it is for us to have a plan to integrate AI. Now, if a student is skilled in using AI to maximize productivity, then he or she will be more likely to be successful in his or her future. So, starting now, having including AI now ensures that students learn how to use a powerful tool in a responsible manner. Now, the other argument that we mentioned earlier, some jobs will be replaced by AI. That is true, but AI will also generate new jobs. Now, there's been a quote, and it has been attributed to several individuals, so we don't have that information here. AI will not replace a human, but a human that knows how to use AI will. So that we just have to be careful, and it's now. So, and like I said earlier, teaching and learning with AI presents an opportunity to learn something new. Now, the fact that students are cheating, uh, I don't think that's a technology or an artificial intelligence issue. That's a pedagogical or classroom management issue. So, to prevent students from cheating using AI, then teachers need to find ways to design learning experiences that demonstrate authentic student learning. um, on my personal position, where I stand, AI is powerful. So we do need to create a plan to harness its power. As a former English learner, or as a current English learner, and immigrant to this country, I see the power behind personalized instruction with AI. As a teacher who worked with students with special needs, I understand the impact of adaptive learning with AI. So we do need a plan that guides teachers and outlines the do's and don'ts of using AI in the classroom. This way we can help mitigate some of the pressing concerns that many educators face today. And I thought about this when I was doing the research and working with, yes, there are many uncertainties, but if we didn't believe in the technology behind the Apollo 11, we would have never landed on the moon. And I think we can apply that right now with artificial intelligence. So let me offer some suggestions for solving this problem. One, use available resources. We already know that the Department of Education issued a guidance where it outlines a guide on how to use it. University of Texas has the Texas Advanced Computing Center with great resources. CSCA, which is the Computer Science Teachers Association, has monthly newsletters that are targeted, that are focused on the use of AI in the classroom. There's also a website, the Artificial Intelligence for K-12 Initiative, AI for K-12, with great resources. And most importantly, the International Society for Technology Education, or ISTE, they have guides for teachers and district leaders on the safe and responsible use of artificial intelligence. Now, along with this, it is crucial to implement an ongoing professional development support program, ensures that teachers stay abreast of AI advancements and so that they're equipped to effectively integrate AI into their classrooms. Now, with this, we need to foster a culture in the schools that is prepared for AI. Stakeholders need to understand that there will be challenges and obstacles, but at the same time, everyone needs to be prepared to address those issues in a timely manner. In closing, and given what has been outlined in this presentation, one must keep one main thing in mind. Does the AI benefit the students? And will it have an impact on student achievement? If the answer is yes, then designing a framework that outlines the implementation of a plan and that encourages and, most importantly, supports the use of AI as a teaching and learning tool should be the expectation. That is all for now. My name is Omar, and I thank you so much for watching this video and staying all the way to the end. Have a good one.